Welcome to Significant Brothers. I'm Chase.
I'm Cray.
And I'm Brad.
And today we're talking about winter festivities. So I just have one question for you guys. Will the two of you come wassailing with me?
I don't know what wassailing is.
Does wassailing have anything to do with going through a snow-covered field?
It could. Now, actually, why do you say that?
I don't know, because I feel like it's a lot like, not galloping. What do you do in fields?
Promenading.
I was going to say
No.
gallivanting.
Gallivanting.
Oh, cool.
No, that wasn't it
Oh,
either.
darn it.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, it could.
Frolic.
And I might be pronouncing it wrong, and I should actually... Frolic, okay. Well, I might be pronouncing it wrong.
I don't know, Chase, is this a Welsh word? Because it might be wassailing then.
I'm actually not sure of the country of origin. Let's say, for sake of argument, wassailing's just really easy to say, so I'm going to say wassailing.
I only know the good Queen's English, so who's to say?
So there are two types of wassailing. There is house visiting wassailing, where you go door to door, singing and offering a drink from the wassail bowl in exchange for gifts.
That seems like a pretty big trade-off. Is this wassail bowl filled with a really good drink?
Sometimes alcohol.
What's the other
Sometimes,
sometimes?
it could just be milk.
What kind of gift do you give? I feel like that's a total ripoff. Maybe that's not the point of the exchange, but...
Well, we'll get to that. So then there's the other version that's called orchard visiting wassailing, where you go to a farm and you sing to the trees for them to have a good harvest. What do you get in return? Potentially a good harvest, but there's no guarantees in life. And so the whole origin of this is the whole meaning is mostly so peasants can go door to door to beg and have good favor with the lords of their communities, and so the lords can give them money and forgive them for being poor.
I always knew it was a sin.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear it confirms.
Yeah, I always knew it was their fault.
Yeah, so it was just a good way for people to go door to door and have a good reason to ask for stuff. So what happens if the wassailers don't get stuff? Typically, they get pissed off and demand free food by vandalizing people's house or breaking into their house and stealing food. And you might be wondering, how? Why? You see this in the song We Wish You a Merry Christmas when the people are saying we want a figgy pudding and not wanting to leave until they get some.
Wow.
So it's high demands. That's a song that still carries the wassailing tradition of going and now we just carol and we don't demand food, although it is nice when you get a cookie every now and then. And you kind of get to know your neighbors. So there's this song that inspired We Wish You a Merry Christmas called Here We Come a Wassailing. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've heard the name before.
Well, feel free to sing along as I recite some of the lines from it. Here we come a wassailing among the leaves so green. Here we come a wandering, so fair to be seen.
Oh, sorry. I thought I knew it.
Oh, love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. Our wassail cup is made of the rosemary tree, and so is your beer of the best barley. We are not.
That's a slant.
We are not daily beggars that beg from door to door, but we are neighbors' children whom you have seen before. So you have a reason why you should give them stuff, because you're probably going to see them again. We've got a little purse of stretching leather skin. We want a little of your money to line it well with it. Bring us out a table and spread it with a cloth. Bring us out a moldy cheese and some of your Christmas loaf. The rhymes get worse.
That's because they've been drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless the master of this house, likewise the mistress too, and all the little children that go around the table go. It's just a plea of, hey, we're poor.
We sing for free, so give us basically everything in your house.
Yeah, you have good reason to. So let's say that singing isn't your thing and you don't want to celebrate Christmas that way. That's fine. There's plenty of other activities like eating food. And so, you know who celebrates by eating food? Santa
Everyone.
Claus.
Oh.
Yes,
And Santa.
specifically. And yeah, actually, that was a horrible lead-in. Santa eats a lot of food, and you probably can tell he's potentially diabetic, depending on the amount of cookies that he consumes on the eve of Christmas. And it turns out he probably consumes around 5.5 tons of cookies if he is eating them at everybody's house, or just taking a few nibbles.
That's incredible. How does he do it?
Well, I mean, Santa's a god, so it's not fair to compare ourselves to him. How much can a mere mortal eat?
I wouldn't say he's a god. He's a
He's-
saint, if anything.
I feel like if he's anything, he's probably a demigod.
He's just an ordinary demiguy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm cutting all of this because it undermines my research. At the 2009 Blue Baker World Cookie Eating Championship, Tom Goose Gilbert from Las Vegas, Nevada ate 20.5 cookies in 5 minutes. That's about 5 pounds of cookies.
Wow.
And he set the record.
20.5 cookies?
Yeah, it's pretty.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but then you say 5.5 pounds. And that does sound like a lot.
Yeah, so like after the competition, they congratulated him after winning, and he said they didn't even know that he was in a competition. He was just so in the zone. This is such a typical routine that he has of sitting down and eating 20 cookies.
It's like I woke up in the morning. I was in my own kitchen.
Do you guys think, you know how there's like, you know, in the Old Testament of the Bible, there's the pre-incarnate Christ will show up and he'll do things. Do you
Yes.
think this was like Santa only shows up on Christmas, and this was one of those pre-Christmas moments where Santa just shows up and he eats cookies like it's normal, and then at the end he's like, "Don't worry, kid, it's my job," and then he's never to be found again. How much do we know about this Tom? I think that was Santa at that event.
But you might be asking yourself, that's it? That's the record? Well, apparently he didn't set that record. He set an even higher record at the Eat Your Face Off competition in 2006. He consumed 80 cookies.
Wow.
The
Holy
cookies
crap.
might be smaller because it was a different competition. However, he was disqualified because he didn't finish his milk. And so we'll never actually have that 80 cookies on record.
Oh, that sucks.
The man was really going for it that year, but he didn't finish his milk. Didn't need it. And in his career, he's earned about like $32,000 in eating stuff. So, very talented man.
I was gonna say that could be Santa Claus too, right? Because doesn't Santa leave half the milk? Or is it like,
He never finishes his milk.
yeah, he never finishes
Is that
milk?
true?
I think so. Or at least in my mind, Santa never finishes his
Yeah, I
milk.
thought that was the thing. I wouldn't know.
I feel
Santa
like
Claus was dead to us when we grew up, so.
That's true.
that's true. None of us believed in him. I just have to say that year, Tom Goose Gilbert got the 80 cookies. All these people have fun nicknames. So that year, Mark the Human Vacuum Lyle got second place. Oh. And he got second place, lost by only one cookie. It was competing with his arm in a sling. So he only had one arm to shovel those into his vacuum eating mouth.
Wow.
He didn't have as nice of a career.
If he won, then he could have, like, from that point on, gone up to anybody and be like, I bet I can eat you under. I was gonna say eat you under the table with my arm in a sling, but that sounds kind of. Sounds kind of dirty.
I hope you guys can use this to have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Have yourself.
Nope,
a
it's copyrighted.
merry
Copyrighted.
little
We can't
Christmas.
monetize this.
And that's all I have.
Brohivo. Dramoria. Haveli. Ludmila of Bohemia. Wenceslaus. All characters in this grand battle, leading up to the beloved Christmas song, Good King Wenceslaus. King Wenceslaus was born back in the 9th century. Very old person. And spoiler alert, he was never really a king. He was a duke at best. I know.
Was he at least good?
Well, there are quite a few inaccuracies in the song, and a lot of his famoushood was brought up from some Wenceslaus cults that popped up after he died, but we're not getting there yet. Let's go. He lived as was very popular in the medieval times. He lived a very Game of Thrones life.
Okay, so he killed a lot of people?
Well,
He exposed himself a lot.
okay, so Wenceslaus was the son of Vitellius I, Duke of Bohemia, and his grandfather was converted to Christianity back in the day, and his mother, so was his grandfather Christian, father Christian, mother not
Pagan?
so much. Yes, actually came from a pagan tribe. Was the daughter of pagan tribal chief of Haveli. But she was baptized during her marriage, so it was all kosher. And his paternal grandmother, Ludmila of Bohemia, oversaw his education. Normally, who's teaching you isn't that big of a deal, but it will be later after his father dies. Anyways, so father died when he was 13. His grandmother took over as regent, and the mother was very jealous of the control that the grandmother had over her son. And so she had the grandmother killed, strangled with her own veil.
Wow.
And then the mother took over control of the kingdom. When he turned...
Wait, what happened to the father?
Well, the father died when he was 13. Grandmother took over. Mother was jealous, killed the grandmother.
Ah, I see.
So now Mama's in charge. Until he turned 18, then Wenceslaus took over. Alliances were forged and broken.
Wait. He's ruling the kingdom. It sounds like he is a king.
Well, not his kingdom, but kind of his duchy, because he was the duke.
Is it douchey
Oh,
or duchy? I
think
never
it's
know how to
duchy.
pronounce it.
They basically came back like, hey, you need to resume payments. Kind of like if kingdoms were banks and you either resume payments or they're going to do a hostile takeover of your house and take it back.
That'd be terrifying.
And then in September of 935, a group of nobles, along with Wenceslaus's brother, Boleslav,
Boleslav?
so a group of nobles and Wenceslaus's brother Boleslav plotted to kill him. Boleslav invited him to a feast of saints, the feast of Saints Cosmos and Damian. 3 of the nobles came in, they fell on him and stabbed him, and when it was just about all said and done, Boleslav ran him through with a lance.
Oh.
And according to the Cosmos of Prague, Boleslav had a kid that day, and they named him Strakvis, which means a dreadful feast. So this is where him being a king came from.
Wait,
But
so
yeah, it's just
wait,
kind of
why
he was a
did it
religious
happen?
figurehood, and he's one of the reasons spurred on by these biographies as to why the Ray Justice idea popped up.
What's that?
The righteous king. Like, monarchy stems from on high. Mainly from, yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
kings are chosen by the gods, basically. Because of him, that's kind of what happened, because he was so righteous, and which is interesting because he totally didn't believe that at all.
Like Wenceslaus wasn't a Christian.
No, Wassailing was a Christian, but he didn't believe that he was put in the power that he was because he was put there by the gods. But people are like, he was a righteous king, and he was there because God chose him.
So he was basically everybody loved him, but the nobles killed him because he stopped paying that other rival kingdom.
No, I think it was just a whole. We want someone else in power, and we're gonna take it. It was just
Okay.
people killing people so they could have power. It was a very
Okay.
disorganized family. But yes, he. No, go ahead.
Well, that's how they do the royal families in the UK. Is they say that the queen gets her power from God, like he appoints her in the royal family. Like she's kind of like the head of the church in that regard.
And so yeah, several centuries later, there were legends going around of what he did, such as he walked 10 miles barefoot in the snow and ice as an act of pious thanksgiving, delivering stuff to different houses, and other popes have, not other popes, at least one other pope or religious figurehead decided to do this as well. Is just, we're going to do this in consolidation with Saint Wenceslaus. Yeah. And so they wrote songs about him, and we all know the song, so if we can all sing along.
King
Good. No.
Oh, come on.
Steven.
Yeah. Good King Wenceslaus looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel. And he goes around, delivering pine logs to this poor man, even though he lived right next to a forest. I don't know why he was doing that, but he was very considerate.
So I understand. In case you're going to answer this, I know the Feast of Stephen is probably the Feast of Saint Stephen, but what is the Feast of Saint Stephen?
It's the day that follows Christmas. Over
Boxing
on
Day?
Yep, it's our Boxing Day basically.
Saint Box.
Yep. So that is the basically the background of all of our favorite Christmas song.
It is a great Christmas song.
Cray, what do you got for us?
So I will be talking about the Yule log, or the Yule clog, or the Christmas block. Yeah, I didn't know there were 3 different names for it, but its first written appearance, probably appeared before the first written appearance, was in 1184, so well after Good King Wenceslaus. And basically the idea was, it was just supposed to be this big block of wood that you're supposed to burn, and it was supposed to last for the 12 days of Christmas. Which,
like, continually on fire?
when I first read that, I thought so, but I think it makes more sense that they just burn it probably for part of the day and then snuff it out and then burn it again the next day.
I was gonna say, this holds a lot of traditions that sound similar to like a menorah.
Yeah, maybe. I think it started in Germanic paganism, just a series of, interrelated religions sort of independent of each other, but that's probably where its roots are. But the Yule log, beside being a place where you could warm your feet, was supposed to ward off a myriad of ailments and just troubling things in life, like toothaches, mildew, house fires, and
Oh, the irony.
so really, it was a huge catch-all. Like, who wouldn't want this in their house if it was going to do all that?
You know what? Almost all those things have happened to me, and I've never been around a U-log when they did.
I think the mildew one I find interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a big problem.
I guess that probably. Well, that probably. I assume if it was like a dank, damp cottage.
Well, this
It
is
was
what,
like-
and this took place in England.
Yeah. Well,
That's kind of-
I should say
kind of
I should
common
out there.
I should say Europe.
It's wet there, though. I guess I could see the need for wanting mildew to go away. Heck, I should probably get myself a Yule log. I don't have mildew, I don't think so, but just in
I
case.
think I have some mildew on my shower curtain, but it's all right.
Well, do you pull your shower curtain taut after your showers?
I actually just cut the bottom of them, so I don't have to worry about it now. But let's jump to the future.
The future of now or future of 1100?
Future in respect to the 1100s.
Oh,
With the advent of the Yule log on television. In 1966, Mr. Fred M. Thrower invented the Yule log. There, that's the whole story. No, he was the president of and executive officer for WPIX Channel 11 New York, and he thought of the Yule log as sort of a gift for the millions of New Yorkers who didn't have a fireplace, so that they could feel warm and listen to some great Christmas music. And he canceled $4,000 worth of advertising and canceled a roller derby telecast in order to air this for 3 hours, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So it's commercial free, like 3 hours of a log, but
see, I've only been exposed to this because of Netflix, so I thought this was a really recent thing. I did not know this came about in the 60s.
yeah. It was the first one was a 17-second loop on 16 millimeter film, and it started to deteriorate really quickly, and also it was really choppy because it was a 17-second loop. And so they refilmed it 4 years later. The first one was filmed in some mansion in New York. The second one was filmed in the summertime in California. And you can't tell. It's apparently looks like the same.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
no. There's they wanted to find a similar looking fireplace, so I guess they had to go to California because they wouldn't let them refilm at the mansion for whatever reason. But it was filmed on 35 millimeter film, and the loop was 6 minutes and 3 seconds long, so it was a lot less choppy. But then came the year 1991, and Michael Eigner, who some people called at the station the Grinch, decided to cancel the Yule log that everyone loved so much because
I hate that guy.
because it was very it wasn't profitable to not show any commercials. So he's like, enough with this fancy schmancy Yule log. And no one really called him the Grinch. I feel like people probably called him the Grinch behind his back. I think
Yes.
that's a fair assumption.
Potentially worse things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there were a lot of protests. People sent in a lot of letters saying how much they missed the Yule log. And aside from a 1997 like internet broadcast of the old Yule log, they didn't really do anything about it until 2001. Because in March of 2000, someone started a website called bringbackthelog.com, which is now called the Yulelog.com. And basically, it was just this online petition. It was started by Joseph Malzone from New Jersey, who was a longtime Yule log lover. And it was administered by Lawrence F., quote-unquote, Chip Akrury. I'm going to talk about Chip later, and the Yulelog.com. But long story short, December 2001, they got it to air again. In 2009, they got a 4th hour to be added with new Christmas music. And this year is the 50th anniversary of the original WPIX Yule log. And they're adding a 5th hour of music, a 5th hour of the loop and new music. And on Christmas Eve, they're going to be doing an hour broadcast of the very original, the 1966 Yule log, because they found the film this year and restored it. So they will be broadcasting it on Christmas Eve, and they're doing an encore broadcast of it on Christmas morning at 7 a.m.
Whoa!
I know.
Guys, we need to watch it.
I'm definitely gonna try.
I
to
really
see
want to
it.
watch it.
So this is going to be on national television?
I don't know.
It's ABC, right?
No, well, I'm not sure how we would get WPIX, but maybe. I'm sure we could find it. Like the original, like the OG Yule log.
Yeah.
But then it'll be followed by the new fancy Yule log.
And then advertising. Oh no, probably not.
Yeah, no advertising. And obviously today it's really evolved. Like different TV channels have picked it up or like replicated it. Others, ESPN has like their own sports one. There's
They just set John Madden on fire. He was watching burn for 4 hours.
Gosh. But I went on the Yulelog.com because I saw it was still around and I was curious to see what this website was. I went on it and it was definitely one of those websites where you're like, this is an early internet website just trapped in time, and it's just like incredibly cheesy, just like so many different fonts. It's wonderful.
Oh, no.
And then if you scroll all the way down on the front page, just say there's 2 options, like enter our website without the Christmas animation or enter our website with the Christmas animation. And I honestly can't explain.
There's only one, right?
Yeah, I watched the Christmas animation and I can't explain it to you guys. You guys just have to like watch it. I'll link it in the show notes because it's very poorly made, as they say, but it's just kind of funny because this website was made in like 2000. So not to knock Chip, who still administers it, and he actively does too, because I was like, I wonder when this is the last time that this thing was edited. But Chip updates it every year, and they have an active forum that people are still a part of.
Whoa.
Are you watching it?
This is everything I'd hope it'd be. Okay, I can save. I'm gonna save that for
All
later.
right.
Wow, this is awful.
Yeah, no, it's bad. But
Chip, we love you though.
yeah, Chip, like, I don't want to knock his website because I think it's really magical, and it's like it's a cool community of people who all really love one thing. And it's just funny to go through their forum, which is mostly active whenever there's big Yule log news, which is usually during Christmas. But it's just funny, like, they're like, it's the 50th anniversary, we just got a 5th hour of music. Like, I think Chip, he originally an admin of this website, is somehow involved with WPIX now, because he's like, guys, I totally mixed this new Christmas playlist and I got them to add a 4th hour of music onto their program. And I'm like, he must work there or something. He can't just be an admin of this website. But yeah, there's just different sections like Yule log news, you got general stuff, yeah, Chip's tips, which are
Tips.
which are basically just his Christmas music review for the year. He just posts once a year and says what new Christmas music came out and what people should listen to. And then he also he also made a list of the top 500 Christmas albums.
500?
500. I know. I was like, I didn't even know there were 500.
Because Mariah Carey releases a new one every single year.
Is that true?
Well, no, she doesn't. But there was a Babylon Bee article. It was like, Mariah Carey just released her 500th. Maybe it was her. It was Amy Grant. It was someone, but just someone who's apparently renowned for releasing so many Christmas albums.
I could see it.
After 12 years of music making, she's just released her 500th Christmas album.
It's incredible. I didn't actually check what the number one Christmas album was for him, but I could not find Sufjan anywhere on the forum. So
That's not on
no,
there?
nowhere. No one in the forum talks about Sufjan Stevens' many wonderful Christmas songs. So that was a little disappointing, but I highly encourage everyone to go to theyulelog.com. This show is actually sponsored by theyulelog.com, bringing you the Yule log since 1966.
They had the internet back then, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Craig, you want 2 brick for a Yule log?
Throw in a sheep and I'll make that a deal.
Thanks for
Merry
listening.
Christmas. Do you think that you would do a version of the Yule log, but it's Burning Man?
That's a good question.
I would watch that.
I'm kind of surprised it doesn't exist. We should make it exist.
Oh,
We could just
Guys,
make a
we could
little.
make so much
We
money.
could make a little Burning Man. Well, is it a different structure each time though? It's not like one figure each year, is it?
No, they change it.
Oh,
they keep a little bit though afterwards, so that they can start the flame next year. So it's an eternal flame.
wait, is it really? Is that true?
No,
No.
that was the Yule log thing.
See, I was just like, whoa, what a coincidence, Chase. That's what they do with the Yule log.
You can listen to us on Google Play Music, Podbean. You can listen to us on Podbean, iTunes, or wherever else you aggregate your podcast needs.
You can follow us on Twitter at Significant Bros, and we are now on YouTube, so we'd super appreciate if you would like and subscribe.
And if you want to keep up with all of our significant happenings, you can go to tinyletter.com/significantbrothers to sign up for our newsletter. And if you want to email us, it's sigbrotherspod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. No.
Hey guys, which race makes the best thieves? It's
What?
oh sorry, it's a D&D question.
I love the D&D question that got like put on the front of all, which was like, should jail
jail-
times be based on race? So many people were like, I clicked on this, I was like, what? Oh, okay.
Okay.
I love that.
I think one
Welcome
time
No, go ahead.
One time I was talking World of Warcraft around people with a person from Ivy, and Stender popped in, and he's like, okay, I don't know what all this race talk is about. And we're like, no, World of Warcraft. I was like, oh, okay, I play D&D. This used to happen to me.
I didn't know Stender played D&D. That's funny.